Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Yvonne Ortiz. I am the Training and Education Specialist at the NRCDB. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to this webinar session titled DVAM Countdown, Let's Prep for October 2017. I'm so excited, and I will tell you that I remember when I was an advocate in a small town of Wilson, North Carolina, this was the most exciting time of the year. Not only because we get to go out and make new collaborations and then talk about domestic violence and bring awareness to the cause, but just because it was a time that we came together as one. We had the same message. We were all excited to shed a light on what domestic violence is and what it looks like in how our community can come together and help. So how do we do this? We're thinking, oh my God, I work in crisis all the time, and I'm an advocate. I don't have time to plan. Well, we are here for you. I'm sure that today you will be able to get some ideas. We have amazing presenters, and we'll be able to give you just that start, that little push that you need. And how do we get this done in 68 days? Well, we got it for you. Our webinar today will offer tools and guidance for individuals and programs of all sizes across the nation on how to take part in raising awareness of domestic violence, even on a shoestring budget and with very little time. We are lucky to have representation from two amazing organizations, the Women's Coalition of St. Croix and the Guardian Angel Community Services from Joliet, Illinois. They will share their keys to successful events, the challenges they encounter, and the lessons that they learn along the way. But before I introduce our amazing presenters today, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what we do. So we are the National Resource Center on Domestic Violence, and we are a national technical assistance provider that offers organizations and individuals resources and information on the many issues related to domestic violence. There are three strategies that frame the core of the NRCDB's work. One is technical assistance and training, resource development, and the design and implementation of key initiatives that facilitate a deeper focus on a particular issue or population. Through our key initiatives and special projects, the NRC works to improve community response to domestic violence and ultimately prevent its occurrence. One of these key initiatives is the Domestic Violence Awareness Project, better known as DVAP. And the DVAP is a one-stop shop for domestic violence awareness. Anything that you need, you can find it on our website, from public education tips, free and downloadable materials, campaign ideas, webinar recordings, training tools. A list of things. We have even an online store. We have a wonderful DVAM events database where you can just go in, put your information, and share it with everyone. People go there to see what's going on in their communities, and they also go there just to get some ideas on what's working, what are the trends, what events are the ones that could work in my community. There are so many wonderful things, and one of them is the artwork and templates. All of these are free, downloadable, and you can customize them. Putting in, when you print them, you put in your program's information and anything that you need. We have all of these materials in different languages, including English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. So feel free to go to our webpage and get anything, any of the information that you need to make sure that DVAM 2017 is a success. Another great resource that we have, and we always like to talk about it, is the talking points forms. And in order to successfully educate the public about domestic violence, we encourage everybody to take action through the media, to use the media. But you know how difficult it is when you get that call from the media. They want an interview, and you only have 20 minutes to prepare. They usually work like that. Well, this is what we do. We provide these talking point forms. They have several topics. We have, I believe, 13 in all, that you go in and just fill in information. Those talking points have statistical information on a specific topic, They have other information just to guide that conversation. And we all know how hard it is to talk with the media. So all of this information is there for you. So make sure that you're able to go into our website to get that information and use it. And I want to mention that there's also one that's a blank form that you can just go ahead and start filling it out right now so you can be prepared when that phone call comes in, because they're going to call you. So before we start and I present our first presenter, I have a question. I want to know, how long have you been working to implement community-based student events? Is this your first time? Has it been 2 to 5 years that you've been organizing events? 5 to 10 years, or more than 10 years? You can respond on the feedback box to our left. Just click on the one that represents, the time that you've been spending. Oh, I see that 50% of our, well, it keeps on changing. So most of you have been preparing events in the past 2 to 5 years. That's wonderful. Let's give a couple of more minutes to make sure that everybody answers. Perfect. So still, the majority of our participants today have been planning events for 2 to 5 years. 31%. We have more than 10 years. Oh, my goodness. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. So first, I'm excited to introduce to you Amirrah Abou-Youssef. She has been with Guardian Angel Community Services for 7 years, and she began as a volunteer in 2010 in the Sexual Assault Services Program. Today, Amirrah serves as a program manager from the Groundwork program. Amirrah, an Illinois certified domestic violence professional with a master's in marriage and family counseling, is a member of the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, Illinois Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, Illinois Coalition Against Domestic Violence Program Council, the 12th and 13th Judicial Family Violence Prevention Council, Will County Take Back the Night Executive Board, Will County Interagency Council, Will County All of Our Kids Network, and the Joliet Junior Women's Club. Welcome, Amirrah, and you have the floor.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here today, and I'm going to say, even though the presentation's been going on for 9 minutes, I've already learned some things of resources from the National Resource Center, so I'm already tickled and excited, so I hope I can just add to everyone's understanding of ways to make our jobs easier and to promote ourselves as domestic violence advocates in our communities. So as Yvonne said, I am from the Groundwork Domestic Violence Program in Joliet, Illinois. To give you an idea of where we're located, I'm going to jump ahead a slide. So I don't know if anyone's seen the movie The Blues Brothers, and there's the two characters. There's Joliet Jake and Elwood Blues. That is all that Joliet is famous for, is for our prison. We are located about 45 minutes south of Chicago, so that maybe might give some people in the conference some idea of where Joliet is located. Our program's been around since 1983, so we've been around a pretty good amount of time. Guardian Angel has actually been around as an agency since 1897. We started as an orphanage, and as a part of our changing needs of our communities, seeing that, not needing an orphanage as much, but reaching out to people who were victims of crime, victims of violence. We established the Groundwork Domestic Violence Program in 1983, our Sexual Assault Services Program in 1998. We also have a foster care program, a parenting program, a partner abuse intervention program, transitional living. We're very busy here, but I'm just so honored to be working for Groundwork. Our Groundwork program might look very similar to some of your programs that you're already doing. We have a 24-hour hotline. We provide emergency shelter. We have 30 beds in our shelter, but we're often at 35 to 40 survivors with their children. We provide legal and medical advocacy. We have group and individual counseling, and we provide outreach. And so, like I said, I really think that we probably look like a lot of your own programs, and so I want everyone on the phone to know that we're no one special. If we can do it, I'm sure that you out there can do it. Hopefully we can give you some ideas. So as I said, we're located in Joliet, and we serve Will and Grundy counties, but we also serve many clients from the greater Chicagoland area. And we have people who come from out of state, so we're here for everybody. To talk about Will County, I thought it might be helpful to talk about the demographics of, a lot of Domestic Violence Awareness Month events are fundraisers, and so kind of what does our population look like? So Will County is a mix of urban and rural areas. Joliet itself is a fairly large city of about 140,000 people, and the population of the entire county is, 677,000. So we have a pretty decent amount of people in this county. The median household income is $76,000, but 6.6% of the population fall below the poverty line. In Grundy County is located just west of Will County. This one looks very different. It's very rural. So their entire population is about 50,000 people. So again, to go back, Will County 677,000, Grundy County 50,000. And so I again am bringing this up because I'm sure there are some programs on the line that are very small programs and some that are more urban. So we, I believe, successfully are able to provide programming and DVAM events for both types of communities. The median household income for Grundy County is $64,000, so about $10,000 less than Will County, and about 7% of the population fall below the poverty line. So that's kind of what we're looking at in our service area and who we reach through our DVAM events. And I do want to pause and say, please don't hesitate to ask a question during my presentation. I want to make sure I'm meeting your needs, so don't hesitate. I would love to hear if I'm meeting your needs or if I am way off base. So we generally have about 4 major events during our Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We do a Purple Light Nights event. We have 2 Take Back the Night events in both counties, and then we do a 5K walk run. So let's talk about Purple Light Nights. And I know there's enough people that I saw through the poll who, maybe this is their first year doing DVAM events, or they're in their second year. What I really like about Purple Light Nights is that even though it's July, you can still put on a very strong campaign through Purple Light Nights. So it's an international campaign geared towards raising awareness during DVAM. So that's what's really cool. It's not just a national, it goes across the world. And the website has these really great planning guides. So like I said, even if you're just getting started now, or if you decide in September, wow, we really want to do this, their website, and I have it listed on the slide, has planning guides to help you have a successful campaign. So, they offer ideas. It can be a fundraiser, a memorial, a vigil, and it's very flexible and easy to fit any agency. Small agencies, large agencies, I think it's a great place to start if you've never done any sort of event before. Because we're all busy, we're all serving clients. Everyone in my program who helps with DVAM, they're working with clients just the same as they do every other day of the year and throughout the other months, but they're adding this on top of their plate. So this has been a very nice campaign that we've taken on. So we personally use it as a kickoff event each October. So actually last year we had it end of September because that's when we could fit it in. If you can see, this is our sample flyer. And what we do is we sell light bulbs at the event and throughout the month, just at a slight profit to encourage people to light up their porches, neighborhoods, and businesses. So through the Purple Light Nights website, they let you know where you're able to purchase the purple light bulbs. They're actually technically black lights, but they do this really cool purple. And you can buy them basically at cost, and then they give suggestions on, you're paying $1.28 per light bulb, but you can sell light bulbs at $3 for 1, 2 for 5, and they really just map it all out for you to make it really easy to try to light up your neighborhoods and businesses. Last year is probably my favorite thing of all of October. We, in our community, lost a teenage woman, young lady, to domestic violence. her boyfriend had found her, shot her and her mother in their driveway when they were going to go to school. And the daughter we lost, they weren't clients of ours at the time, so I'm not breaking confidentiality, but the daughter was lost and Mom survived. And Mom decided to reach out to us, and she had come to a Purple Light Nights event 2 years prior to that. And last year she asked, can I sell the light bulbs? And what she did was she pretty much bought our entire stock at cost. So we charged her what the retailer charged us. And she went throughout her entire community of Romeoville and sold almost 300 light bulbs because she wanted her community to recognize her daughter and to say that our community does not allow domestic violence, and everywhere you see a purple light bulb means that we want domestic violence to end and we support survivors. And it was, I mean, I have goosebumps talking about it now. It was just so touching, and she just was so proud of herself, and I think it gave her a tool to feel like she's doing something, and it was just the best. I just loved it. And it was easy, goosebumps. So it was just very touching that she was able to do that. And then for the night of our event, we had a guest speaker, and we had a woman share her story of the terrible domestic violence she went through and the gaslighting she experienced. And it was just a great way to focus ourselves for the rest of the month to say, wow, this is our vision, this is what we're here for, this is what we're trying to do. And it's fairly easy, and it doesn't take a lot of effort. What we had to do was find a space at we recently moved. We were at an old building. We used to have it on our front lawn, and we would light our agency purple, and we would do the event right on our front lawn. Our new location doesn't quite allow for that, but we rent out a theater. We set up information tables, have the guest speaker. We still light our agency purple. It's super easy. Some people might want to do it where they buy Christmas lights that are purple and decorate a tree, or try to get businesses to light their businesses purple. Or if you have a downtown district, see if your city will help you make make a purple lane, something like that. It could be very easy as just the purple tree. It could be a little bit more with just having a vigil. It could be whatever you need it to be, which is really why I appreciate this event and why I reinvent the wheel when we're all so busy. It's there. They have toolkits. I really highly recommend it. Next, I'd like to move on to Will County Take Back Tonight. So this is actually not an event put on by Guardian Angel proper. In Will County, there is, did I have this on the other slide? No. It's done by an individual committee that is made up of professional women, and they put on this event every year. So our event in Will County is a rally, a vigil, and a march. So we gather people from the community. We generally do it at a church or a school or some sort of public location. We get some sort of keynote speaker. So in the past we've had survivors, we've had motivational speakers. This year we're going to highlight human trafficking in our community and have a speaker come from a local human trafficking agency. And then we take time to read the names of women and children we've lost to gender-based violence in Will County. We read their names, and we have someone stand on stage to represent that person so we can honor the people that we've lost. And then we end it with a march through our community saying, take back the night, end the violence. We make sure it's in a really visible area around where we're doing our rally so people are aware. We also use this event to we recruit sponsors and donations. We sell merchandise. And this isn't to raise money for Take Back the Night, it's to raise money for local agencies providing services to women and children. So, Guardian Angel does benefit from being a part of this event, and there's another women's organization in town that benefits, and our Prairie State Legal Services and whom we can reach out to. But another lovely thing we do with our money is provide scholarships for survivors to go back to school or to go to a trade school or, to learn a new skill that's going to help them be more independent. So, we've helped people get through learning how to cut hair and to be a hairstylist with money that we've raised from Take Back Tonight. So it's been a really great way to kind of tackle domestic violence from several different facets. I think that's everything I have for Will County Take Back Tonight. So then next is Grundy Take Back Tonight. So this is something that Guardian Angel puts on themselves because Grundy is much smaller. They don't have a large group of professional women to put it on, so we decided, well, we need this out in Grundy County too. So in Grundy County, we do a rally. We do it in front of the Grundy County Courthouse. We get a guest speaker, we get resource tables, and we do a balloon release. And how we do this is, again, we never really truly do anything alone. And I hope for other programs out there that they're not looking to tackle these things by themselves. But we get the state's attorney involved and the county clerk. We have a long-standing relationship with these men and women, and they're very supportive. So they donate the front of the courthouse lawn and the chairs and the tables, so we don't have to pay for renting any of that. The state's attorney provides the balloons, and the state's attorney speaks every year. And I think it helps Grundy County see that their state's attorney is at the forefront of any domestic violence in their community, and to know that it's really important to him. And they've had some high-profile cases. Will County has had high-profile cases too, but it's been a nice way to get people together. In the past, we've gotten the high schools there with like their cheerleading squad and marching bands and things like that to get them to come out to their own community to promote ending domestic violence. So it's pretty low key. It's getting a speaker. It doesn't take a lot of planning. We do it every year, and so again, it's very small, but it's digestible. It's something that if you haven't started planning your DVAM events, this might be something that's easily added in your community. Finally, we do an Angels Against Abuse 5K walk run. This is our largest event. We do this as a fundraiser. We like to keep it family friendly and pet friendly, and people are like, why pets? Why does that matter? Well, we know as domestic violence advocates that a lot of our survivors don't leave because they don't want to leave their pets. They don't want to leave their dog at home because they know that their dog might be in danger or their dog might be their only support system. So, allowing that to come through in our events has actually been very, very important to us. As you can see, this is our flyer from last year. It is an annual event. This year will be our 9th annual, and I will say the more that we do it, the more people look forward to it. So we started small. We started slow. We just did a walk and maybe had, 50 people, and now we're up to over 200 people. And, so you have to start somewhere. And what's been nice about doing this fundraiser is that it's given us unrestricted dollars to maybe replace a refrigerator that broke or, what have you. It's just been pretty easy. On this next slide, I show the different levels of sponsorship. And so this is an easy way to get people to donate money at different levels. We gave them cutesy names. We recruited from businesses and people we know. If you have a car dealership in town, they love to put their names on things like this, doctor's offices, and just places that you frequent. So if you have a great massage therapist you like, maybe they can be at the activist level for $100 and, be able to promote themselves. Or if you can see in the in-kind donations box, maybe they can't do $100, but maybe they can donate snacks or give swag items to the bag, to your giveaway bag, or, they can be the coffee sponsor. So there's definitely little ways that you can get people involved. Another thing that we like to do is raffle baskets. We do these awesome raffles. One year we had a football signed by many of the Chicago Bears players. I mean, people I hadn't heard of, but I'm not a huge football person, but that was a hot ticket item, and we raised almost $2,000 just with that football alone. So we were really proud of that, and what I like about our event is it's a very easy running course, so people like to come out for that, but there's also the walking portion, which is nice because I don't like to run, and so I always tell everyone there's a walking portion, and I saunter, and I bring up the rear so no one has to worry about being last. It will always be me. And it's just a nice, easy morning that people enjoy. And if they don't even want to run or walk, they can help with the raffle baskets. And what we love about this event is, as exhausting as it can be to put on something like this, everybody leaves that day feeling amazingly awesome, because it's so nice to see everyone come out and be supportive and be with your community and see the spark and the passion that everybody has. That, you know, if you don't do any DVAM events for any other reason, do it because it's so awesome to see your community come together. Finally, I just really recommend general Domestic Violence Awareness Month promotion. So get on your social media. Get on your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram. This picture is absolutely of my own fingernails, purple for DVAM on top of my lovely cat, Simba. And I just posted it to Facebook. It was just super easy. Make an agency hashtag. You know, do whatever you can. Throughout the month of October, I go on our local radio program every week to talk about statistics of our community, to talk about our events. Wear purple. I mean, super easy things that if you can't get an event going this year, you know, get a purple day going in your community where everyone's supposed to wear a purple shirt and talk about it. I am absolutely that nerdy person that if I see somebody wearing purple in the month of October, I go, oh, hey, are you wearing that because it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month? And if they look at me like I have 3 heads, I then go and explain what Domestic Violence Awareness Month is, because I'm not shy, and it gets the discussion going. And that's the whole purpose of raising awareness. It's not just to wear it, but it's to talk about it. And then again, be patient. You know, this might be your first year doing a DVAM event. Maybe you get 10 people. That's awesome. That's 10 people whose lives are better because they came to your event. That's 10 people who maybe are survivors and they know their community's behind them, or 10 people who are going to get the word out to somebody else, or, you know, whatever it might be. That's awesome. And over the years, people are going to start looking forward to your events. Just like with our 5K, this is our 9th year. I'm telling you, we had our event in October. By December, I was getting an email. When is the 5K going to be this year? We want to get it on our calendars at work. We want to get it on our city calendar. We want to start promoting it. People start to look forward to what you're providing, and, you know, because they find the cause to be important, and they find what you put on to be fun, and they really just look forward to it every year. So, you know, give it a couple years, and you're really going to have a great DVAM that you're going to be super proud of. So I really can't stress that enough. Be patient, but it's totally worth it. And then that's finally it. So, again, my name is Amirrah. If you have any questions for me, that is my number and my email. And the picture here is of our building lit up purple for Purple Light Nights. So that's what we do every year. So thank you.
Thank you, Amirrah. I believe in my heart that the key to a successful DVAM event is the passion that the person that is organizing has, and you can hear the passion, Amirrah's passion on her voice, and you can see the quality of events. So I'm excited for you guys in Joliet, Illinois. I know that this year is going to be really, really fun. You're going to be able to connect and to celebrate those survivors that are still with us and remember those that have left us. And, you know, right now we are ready. We are excited to hear from Celine Gomes, and she's a crisis counselor for the Women's Coalition of St. Croix. And Ms. Clema Lewis, she's the executive director for the Women's Coalition of St. Croix, where she has been since 1982. Clema has a master's degree in counseling education and is nationally certified counselor. She participates in numerous community and national groups, including as chair of the St. Croix Child Abuse and Neglect Task Force and secretary for the Virgin Islands Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Council. Clem is also a member of the Women of Color Domestic Violence Network Steering Committee and the American Counseling Association. She has received many honors, and some of them include the National Association of Social Workers Award for Citizen of the Year, Sunshine Lady Peace Award, and the Virgin Islands Women Hall of Fame. Welcome, Clema and Celine.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Okay, so the Women's Coalition of St. Croix was founded in 1981. And we provide services like crisis intervention, counseling for all victims and survivors of crime. We have a 24-hour crisis line, which also means we go out in the community. We have court advocacy, child advocacy. We have emergency shelter as well as transitional housing, only transitional housing in the territory. We provide food, clothing, and furniture assistance. And when we're able to get a special grant from United Way or the federal government, we're able to provide rental assistance as well and utilities assistance. We run support groups for domestic violence and parenting classes, and we do community training and education to the public and private sector. Our program consists, some of our programs consist of our Sojourning House Shelter that's been in existence since 1994. We got our first transitional housing grant in 2014. Closet to Closet is a thrift shop that we're really proud of, where you can get gently used clothing. We have a home store where you can get used furniture, and a shabby chic corner where you can get upscale clothes for probably almost no money. Our Alice Pelzer Children's Center is where we provide high school diplomas, teenage volunteers in the community. We run a summer program for 6 weeks for students to educate them about our work and what we do. And last of all, well, I mentioned Project Link already. So Celine will talk about us, where we are.
Good afternoon. We are in the United States Virgin Islands. We are the U.S. Virgin Islands is made up of 4 small islands: St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. John's, and Water Island. We happen to be located on St. Croix, and we are located between the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean, which makes us pretty much in the middle of paradise. And we, on St. Croix, host the easternmost point of the United States, which is Point Udall. As much as it's paradise, because of our geographic location, we're considered very rural, with a population of 51,000 on St. Croix, according to our 2010 census. And unfortunately, most of our population, 26%, is under the poverty line. Where we are, being our beautiful islands, also means that access to services is very, very limited because we're on an island. And the option to flee an abuser would be solely by plane or by boat, which of course makes it very expensive. Being a U.S. territory, though, we are easily accessible and many times used as a place for abusers to escape from the mainland. So we have a lot of people that fly down, and we won't find out until after they've been here for quite a while that they're here and they've come here because you don't need a passport to come to the U.S. Virgin Islands. You can use your driver's license. Being an island, we are also considered a border state because less than a 20-minute boat ride from where we are is the British Virgin Islands, and it also gives us access to a lot of the other Caribbean islands, the Eastern Caribbean chain, and so that opens us up to a large undocumented population. And it makes us nearly prime for human trafficking because it's easy to get people in here, and we have a lot of open waters around us, so it does make us accessible for the good as well as the bad. All right, so a little about the DVAM on St. Croix. We have our calendar of events from last year there. As you can see, we have a lot of stuff that we do. It starts out with the Purple Ribbon Campaign, and we do that in conjunction with other agencies on the island. And what we do is we give everyone those beautiful purple ribbons to wear for awareness throughout the community. During this month, we also do more presentations, more trainings, more workshops, and we focus a lot on domestic violence in the workplace, in the schools, and in the churches. We even have the students wear ribbons in the schools to promote and to bring awareness. All our events are highlighted on TV, newspapers, and radios, and we do just a whole lot more media awareness. So we're on talk shows, we're on TV shows, we do a lot of social media events, stuff like that. We usually also have an open house where we invite the entire community, the legislature, the government officials, private agencies, to become more familiar with what we do. And we usually have a victim or survivor of domestic violence to be our guest speaker so that it brings home actually what's going on. We also have 2 weekends where we hold our supermarket campaign. This gives the community an opportunity to donate food, household items for our crisis center and for our shelter. And Clema's favorite is we have a VI Purple Day where we have another opportunity for businesses to be able to show their support and stand in solidarity with victims of domestic violence in our community. And it's usually one that's done so that everybody, including the men, they have an opportunity to wear their purple ties, they wear their purple shirts, purple socks, which we've seen, which has been very, very interesting. So those are some of the activities that we have. I'm going to let Ms. Lois continue on the next page.
So let's talk about DVAM, what some other things we do. We have our Take Back the Night silent march and rally, which is similar to what the other program talked about. This is actually our 36th year doing this march. And because St. Croix is made up of 2 towns, Christiansted and Frederickstead, we have some people that don't go Christiansted and some people don't go Frederickstead. So every year we rotate the march. If it's Christiansted one year, it's Frederickstead the next year. We march through the streets with, we started off with candles. We done got smart now. We use the little lights, the little battery-operated lights now. We ring the bell every 7 to 9 minutes to let them know that a victim somewhere is being injured or hurt. We are escorted through the town by the police, which is interesting, and it's usually done in evening. We usually do it between 6 and 8, so it's dark. We usually choose a victim, a survivor who we memorize for that event. So we have a list of victims who've died in domestic violence, which have included women, men, and children. So every year we dedicate the march to a different victim. And at the march, the family is presented with a plaque in their memory. The family is allowed to talk about their loved one in their memory. And other people can speak as well. The program is very interesting, and to me it's just as crucial as marching down the street. We have speakers every year. We have a different speaker. We have women speaking, men speaking, children. But the title and the focus has to always be on some form of domestic violence. But we've had youth groups dance, and we've had people sing as well, as long as it's pertaining to domestic violence. It's held the 3rd Thursday of every year of October. We always do it the 3rd Thursday, so if it rains, we leave open the following week as a rain day. We have I'm sure most of you are familiar with the Clothesline Project, where victims and survivors and family members write out their feelings of their victimization. We always hang those up in the town so people can read them and they're visualized during the march. During the late night march, we present a shoe project, which I think you can kind of see it on the screen. It's really exciting. What we've done is we've taken shoes from our shop, closet to closet, and we lay them out and we put the names of the deceased victims in the shoe. So when the moderator or the MC for the program call out their names, we have people that in our group or volunteers that take the shoe up when we say the name. And it's really interesting because we've used children to take up the baby shoes, men to take up the men's shoes, women to take up the women's shoes. And because we've been doing it for maybe about 10 years now, family members now come to the event and ask if they can take a pair of shoes and the remembering of their loved ones. The media loves it. The shoes are highlighted all over the newspaper, all over TV. For them, it seems to be more of the highlight of the Take Back the Night March. We also do something that we think is important, too. We do a Shero Hero Award. And what that is we try to find, it could be an individual, an agency, a group, somebody in the community that have done some specials for survivors and victims that for this particular year or maybe the year before. And we bring them to the program. We present them with a Hero and Shero Award and thank them for being there for us and for being there for victims. And it's also another way, again, to educate the community and educate the victims and the families and the agencies about what domestic violence is. We do a community countdown. I think that's Shalene's favorite. Shalene is usually the MC. And we usually do a countdown where at the end of the program we have everybody to go hold hands and go around and count down the number. It also gives us a chance to bring everybody closer, but also the opportunity for us to see how many people that actually showed up to the event. We usually have a DJ there that plays music that's relevant to the domestic violence event. Did I leave out anything? You want to add anything?
With the countdown, what's usually really good is that people are able to see how much a part of the solution they can be because they're there and we do the countdown. And we get to sing, so it's kind of like our sing-along as well. We've been singing One Love by Bob Marley usually, and so that gets to be a very, very happy time. It's our open karaoke at that point.
And DV Awareness Month there goes some pictures so you can reflections of previous events. As you can see, it's really big for us in the community, and we've made it big in the community because we've been doing it over 30 years. So my agency is dedicated to the whole month of October, literally every week, almost every day, doing something that reflects, educate, talk about domestic violence in the community, get the word out. We've brought in speakers, as I said earlier. We brought in senators to try to win them over, to get them to understand what domestic violence is. But this is what we've been doing for over the last 30 years, and it's critical. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask us.
We also got into the modern age, and we started doing our digital interactions like most people do. We also do a Put a Nail in It campaign. We do the Promote Peace Selfie campaign. The picture is up on your screen, and that's actually a translucent, so you can put your own face behind it. So it has your picture, and then it has Promote Peace over it. And then we do our Purple Day selfies, where we have different community organizations, different offices that will come in and they will take their pictures, and then they will post it on our Facebook page, or they will send it to us so that we're able to utilize it, so that the community involvement is a lot greater. And we found that it's been very, very successful because it gives people an opportunity to do stuff that they don't have to necessarily move from where they're at, but they can still be involved and they can still show their support.
We're trying to do more outreach to the businesses. I think we're going to try to do more and more to get the businesses to show more of their support of what we're doing in terms of domestic violence. But one year we had a young woman that actually went to the nail shop, and she painted different things on people's nails that have to do with domestic violence, and it was all done in purple as well. She had just graduated from high school, and that was something she wanted to do, so we were completely open to it. But I think we covered everything.
Yep. So thank you so much. We appreciate you having us here. Yeah. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to share with all of you.
And we're open for any questions or comments.
Thank you, ladies. This has been very informative. So I have a couple of questions. I know that our participants are thinking about them. Feel free to post them on the chat box, and Joe will let us know if we have any questions that we need to address. So I'm going to ask the three of you. First, we're going to start with Clema and Shalene. We're going to talk about collaborations. And the three of you talked about amazing events, but one theme in common was collaborations, how you have engaged the rest of the community. And this is important for domestic violence programs because then we have a better reach. When we do it alone, it's not as effective. So working with enthusiastic partners such as schools, health programs, churches, and other agencies help us to have successful awareness events. So ladies, let's start with Clema and Shalene. How do I engage my community? If this is my first time, there's nothing, my agency, did some awareness events last year, they just hired me. How do I engage my community? What's the first step? What would you guys recommend?
Well, the first thing I would do is try to speak in certain community, whether it's agencies or community agencies that's well known or pretty active in the community. I would contact them and ask them would they give me an opportunity to come and speak about domestic violence. The other thing I found people like, even if they don't want to talk about it because maybe something going on in their life, is they love the purple ribbons. So if you can invest in getting purple ribbons, even if people don't really want to hear it or can't talk about it, they will wear those purple ribbons. Women wear them, men wear them. Matter of fact, we gotten just about all our government agencies wearing it, to the point now, at the beginning of October, almost at the end of September, they come here and ask us, do you have my basket and my ribbons ready? So I found that's the easiest way to get the community engaged by doing something simple as, how about a ribbon, and can I just come and talk to you about it? What you think? Want to add to that, Shalene?
I think that getting the young people involved as well. So, like last year we did an essay contest, so that we were able to engage the schools and stuff like that. We go into the schools and we do presentations. But just starting out, that would be a good thing to be able to do something that would involve the young people. Mm-hmm. And the ribbons really are a tie-in. And then we also get, of course, you spend a little money, but Clema's also been really good in terms of getting the purple bands for the hand, because that gives them something that makes them feel like they're involved and they can wear it. And it's a question piece. Mm-hmm. So why are you wearing a purple band? Why are you wearing a purple ribbon? And it starts the conversation. And that's been a very easy way to get people involved.
But also another way that's easy, and it depends on what kind of community you have, but we've had a couple of dances. Yeah. We've had parties that we call purple parties. So if you got a community that's into purple parties, and it could be a fundraiser, they have to pay a little fee to get in, but they have to wear purple. And everything in the event is purple, from the lights to
the signature drink.
To the signature drink, everything is done in purple. And people seem to like that as well. I think those are some things that won't break your back and pretty easy to kind of ease in with the community.
Mm-hmm. Great ideas. I have another question. In your case, in St. Croix, which ones are the most influential organizations that you have been able to collaborate with or to engage?
The most influential organizations to engage?
Yes.
I would say the Department of Education. I would say the Virgin Islands Police Department. I would say the Department of Health. We have a relationship with them. The Virgin Islands Domestic Violence Sexual Assault Council, the Men's Coalition, and just some other government agencies. We've been able to get them involved just because they understand that it's an issue. So those were the top ones for us. Oh, don't let me forget the Department of Justice, where they prosecute DV cases. We have them wearing ribbons. We even have our Superior Court staff wearing ribbons during the month of October. Even some of the marshals request ribbons, and they wear ribbons, some of the marshals and the police, on their uniform.
Wow, amazing. So now let's ask Amirrah. Amirrah, how do I engage my community if this is my first time planning an event?
I think a really great place to start is to look for those social service groups that share the same mission that you do. So we're really involved in the women's clubs in the area, both the general women's clubs, junior women's clubs, and juniorettes. So juniorettes would be the high school level clubs. Also, the Exchange Club Center for the Prevention of Child Abuse. We have a really great relationship with them. Zonta, Rotary, anyone that we can get involved, because they're looking for events to be a part of too. So really, you're helping out each other. And they generally have luncheons and meetings. And so just like they were saying before about, hey, can I come give you some ribbons and talk at your meeting? That's a great way to get started. I would say for us in both of our counties, we have great relationships with our state's attorneys. And so in Will County, we actually have a relatively famous state's attorney, James Glasgow. So we have a high-profile case from out of our county for Drew Peterson. There was a Lifetime movie, for those of you that watch Lifetime, and it was a national story. And so he is a strong champion for domestic violence. So getting him involved pulls in a lot of people, of everyone that follows him and other lawyers and things. So he's been a great help. Again, the police departments are huge because sometimes there is a little love-hate relationship when police are involved with domestic violence for different reasons, but to get everybody involved for DVAM shows unity. I know that we've done ribbon magnets with our hotline number and our program name, and we've given it to all the local municipalities so they can have it on their police cars. And they're, so it's really kind of cool when you're driving around town, you can see what police cars you've marked with your own branding and getting them involved. But even just reaching out to high schools for like the Honor Society kids, you know, Z clubs, anything where you're finding people who have the same mission as you, and it makes it super duper easy. And then again, your local politicians, your representatives, you know, they want to be involved too. They want to be a part of it. And finally, one other thing we did a couple of times last year, especially with Take Back the Night, is that we had city proclamations, county proclamations, and we even had a state proclamation, because for our Will County Take Back the Night, it was our 20th year marching. And so even just to be able to get a proclamation declared in our favor was a way of getting people involved and getting some notoriety and getting it in the newspaper. So those are some things I suggest for networking and getting other entities involved with your cause.
Great. And I want to give a shout-out to our DVAP webpage. We have sample proclamations. Anything that you would need, it's already there. I know that sometimes it's hard just to call your elected officials and ask for that. When you send them everything already ready, you'll be sure for them to support you. They're really busy, and it will be really helpful for them to have all the information that they need. So our next question, let's talk about cultural considerations. And the key to engaging the community is to infuse your activities with elements unique to your community. And doing that can help ensure that events will resonate with participants and potentially inspiring them to take up the work of your program. So how do we identify our target audience? Because, you know, we have several events and we can do that. And what tips do you guys have to engage different sectors of the community? And I'm meeting, as an example, my community, the Latino community, or if you have a specific religious community that you want to engage, what have you guys done to engage that community? And let's start with Amirrah. Anything that comes to your mind, Amirrah?
It's probably the easiest is to reach out to your places of faith. A lot of congregations really like to get involved with the cause around domestic violence. I think it's becoming more recognized as, you know, their congregation members are coming forward. So that's a really great place to start. In Joliet, we have a fairly large Latina community, and we've talked about, you know, and this is probably long-term planning, to have an event specifically for them that's all in Spanish so they can participate fully. But even during our empowerment groups, or our weekly support groups, we have them in Spanish and in English, and in the Spanish one we make sure to do a speak out so it's open to the public. It's not a closed group night. It's open to the public so they can share their story. And so we started small with that community, and just kind of recognizing, look at your client base. Where are your clients coming from? What neighborhoods are they coming from? What languages are they speaking? We've noticed a large uptick in clients from India, and so and that includes several different languages. So how to reach out to them is started to become a conversation. We also have clients that are coming from French-speaking African countries, and so identifying where our clients are coming from and then how can we cater to them is probably the best place to start, I would think, if you don't know what kind of community you need to be reaching out to.
Wonderful. Thank you, Amirrah. How about Clema and Shalim? How do we reach out to all of the sectors of the community? How do we include them?
Well, one of the things that we found helpful is that we try to make sure that, especially in terms of reaching larger audiences, we go on the the cultural-based radio programs. So we'll do Spanish TV because we have a very large Latina and we have a very large Caribbean community here. So we would
people of color live here.
Right. So we would go to the Spanish-speaking radio stations. We'll go on the Spanish-speaking television programs, and we will reach out to them through that way so that we know that we're getting to that population. And then we'll do a lot of the other media stuff as well. We've used a lot of our advocates to actually reach out to each other as well and reach out to the community that they're in.
But we also go out and speak. So during that month, that's the opportunity to get to churches, talk about domestic violence, give out ribbons in the church. We go to housing communities, talk in the housing communities about what's going on, what services available, give out ribbons in the housing community. Because we're a small community, as we said earlier, and predominantly people of color, we pretty much get the cultural nuances because that's all about us. So we haven't had an issue in terms of what we're doing that's culturally appropriate and not. In the beginning, we started, of course, when we started in 1981, they weren't too crazy about an agency that's starting up, that's fighting for women. But I'm saying 36 years later, the community has become a part of this agency.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies. A little while ago, we had a question in our public chat that we already answered, but I wanted for us to have a conversation about it. And I believe it was Nikki, and she was telling us that they cannot fundraise during DVAM during October because one of their funding sources, doesn't allow it. That's one of the restrictions that they have. And what I answered to her was that I remember when I worked at a local program that we had the same issue. And what we did, we could not fundraise, of course, but what we did, we asked for, in a very, I would say, simple way, we asked for donations in clothing and also food for the safe house and any other resources that they wanted to donate, even if they were in the, a ride to a doctor's appointment, anything that they could give their time. So one of the things that worked really, really good for us was to think about DVAM and beyond, not to just think about October. So we would integrate ideas on, December is coming, the holidays are coming, and we have always a number of children that have to spend the holidays in the safe house. So we started collecting toys. So by the time December came, we had more than enough for the children that were staying in the safe house and for the children that were attending our children's services programs. What ideas can you give for those programs that cannot fundraise during October? And let's start with Amirrah.
Well,
I think if you can't fundraise during October, maybe just plan on your fundraising for the holidays. I mean, besides just the materials, that maybe you can get enough materials during October, being able then to put, make January, February more of your fundraising time, or maybe pick a different month. February is Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month, and so that's outside of the fall fundraising campaign for United Way, and so maybe that's more of your heavier fundraising month. So maybe link up to a different campaign.
Wonderful. How about Clema and Celine?
Well, you all gave some wonderful ideas. We would just reinforce and say that we do fundraising all year round. And we used to be a part of United Way that didn't want us to do it either between August and December. We're no longer a part of them because we didn't feel it was worth it. They wasn't giving us enough for us to stop fundraising during those particular months. But I would suggest to her that they do their fundraising before, after, and do the supermarket stuff, donation things like we do. 2 weeks out of the month, we have people, and we get a lot of donations. We get food, clothing, money, people even money, but it's all donations, so they can't say it's an issue. That's what I would focus on if you can't do it in October. That's only 1 month.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Okay, so I want to give a shout-out to Rebecca Leon. She is with the National Latino Network, and they have amazing resources if you're thinking of reaching out to the Latino community, and she's joining us today as a participant, so thank you, Rebecca. I have some other exciting events that we want to promote, and at the beginning we had mentioned that the Domestic Violence Awareness Project has many resources and activities for you to take ideas, and one of them that I'm really excited about is our National Call of Unity, and as you can see on the slide, this is a 45-minute call where a lot of organizations come together. We have government officials, we have local domestic violence programs, we have survivors' families. Everybody gathered together, and we listened to messages, inspirational messages. Last year, we had an amazing survivor that spoke and shared her struggles, her life, and her successes. Ramona Brand, we were blessed to have her. The call has been going on for, I believe, 7 years now. So it's a great way to start DVAM. It's always on the first Tuesday of the month. So this year's National Call of Unity will take place on October the 3rd at 3 p.m. We have a lot of organizations that stop what they're doing. They join the call as a group, sit down and listen. Because, as advocates, we're working in crisis, and sometimes we don't take that time to self-care. So just sitting down, listening to our speakers, and usually we have around 12 speakers to come on and tell us what we have accomplished, at the national level, to give messages of gratitude. It just centers us and helps us understand and remind us why we're doing this work. And maybe you're asking, how did this all start? Well, in 1995, our organization, the NRCDV, convened several national organizations to launch a new effort. And that's how the Domestic Violence Awareness Project started. This collaborative effort became what we have today, and we're so excited about the Domestic Violence Awareness Project, or DVAP. So the purpose of the DVAP is to support and promote national, tribal, territorial, state, and local advocacy networks in their ongoing public education efforts through public awareness strategies and material. So I hope that all of you can join us for the National Call of Unity. It's going to be amazing, and if you're not able to join, you can also, it's going to be recorded. So you can also plan to sit down as a staff, maybe during your staff meeting, and listen to a portion of a call. It's a great, I believe, time for us to come together and feel like we're not working in isolation, that we're a part of a movement, and that's important for all of us. And also, we have this other event that we're very excited about. We're calling for stories of why am I an advocate. The NRCDV has a radio podcast station that we are very excited about. It's called NRCDV Radio Stories of Transformation, and Joe is heading this effort. And we're calling for submissions from advocates in the field to tell us in writing why you're an advocate or why did you become an advocate. We believe that sharing our stories is really valuable. It will encourage other advocates just to continue to work, and for us to share why we do this work, why we are so excited. Like our presenters today, you could hear the excitement in their voices. So we are looking for stories that respond to the prompt as a strategy for shedding light on the value of advocacy in the movement to end gender-based violence, the strength and perseverance of advocates in the face of challenging times, the invaluable role of advocates in supporting survivors as they move along their healing journey, the power of storytelling as a strategy for raising awareness and inspiring change. And the great thing is that if your submission is selected for production, you will be invited to read your story aloud or or offer an alternative accommodations as needed for a recorded podcast, and this would be, shared nationally, and everybody will be able to hear your story. So we are very excited. There's some information and the dates. The submissions are due August 21st, as you can see, in Word format, and you can email them to nrcdvta@nrcdv.org with the subject line, Why I Am an Advocate. This is very exciting, and I hope that a lot of you are able to send your stories. So I want to check one more time to see if there are any questions. While we wait for those questions, I'm going to open the floor for our presenters to share any last thoughts, anything that you want to share. If you want to promote an event, go ahead. Let's start with Clema and Shalene.
I think we've pretty much said it all, what we do. We're getting ready to go into our National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims, which is September the 25th that we do every year. So we kind of get bogged down and tied up between the National Day of Remembrance for Murder Victims and Domestic Violence Awareness Month, which they both have some tie-ins. But I believe that the more we do this, the more we promote this, I think the more people we're reaching in the community. The last couple of years, though, it has been a kind of a struggle because of breast cancer month now in October. So sometimes one of the challenges is we find ourselves either bumping heads or running into some of the same events that the breast cancer group. So what we've done is tried to meet with them and see how we can kind of join the two groups together. And my big message is, why can't we wear purple and a pink ribbon? So that, I don't know if that's the issue for anybody else anywhere, but it is becoming more and more part of our community during October. Want to add anything?
Wonderful.
Not necessarily. I think for agencies just starting out, social media is an amazing way to get the ball up and running. Everybody has a phone. Everybody has Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. If you kind of start pushing the digital, you'll reach a lot of people, and if you put your numbers on it, it will help with a lot of safety, because we're getting a lot of clients that are calling in or reaching out because of social media. So if you do that as well, it will help not only promote your agency, but it will get the word out about the cause.
Thank you, ladies. Amirrah, any last thoughts?
Again, I just want to thank everyone for participating today. It was really fun, and remember that really the purpose of Domestic Violence Awareness Month is, to bring your community together, to let survivors know that they're not alone, to offer help, to let your community know that this is an issue. And no matter how you get that done, if it's just a post on Facebook, if it's getting on the radio, if it's having a small Purple Light Nights event, whatever that is, that's awesome. Just be proud of yourselves. Try some things out. Some things are going to be great. Some things are going to be not so great, but that's life. But remember that it's an awesome thing to be a part of, and as tired as you're going to be by the end of October, it's so worth it. It re-energizes you. It re-energizes your staff, the program, the community. You never leave October feeling unhappy. You feel amazing because you've done so much, and you do it for your survivors, and it's totally worth it. So give it a go, or keep doing what you're doing if it's awesome. It's all worth it. So I really just can't encourage you to participate more.
Thank you, Amirrah. And just a final note, our National Call of Unity will take place on October 3rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. And I see that we have a question from Rebecca. Can the stories, Why I'm an Advocate, can they be anonymous? And I'm thinking yes, they can be anonymous. And, of course, Joe will have more information on that, so we'll reach out to you. Any other questions? Yeah, I don't see anything else. So I want to thank our amazing presenters. Ladies, you've done an amazing job, And the way that I found this group of ladies was through our DVAP database. I went in and I said, let me look for organizations that have done, wonderful events, successful events, and that have been going on for more than 2 years. And as you can see, the Women's Coalition of St. Croix has an event that has been going on for 35 years. So these are programs that are doing it and doing it well, and their events are successful. I want to encourage everybody to reach out to them directly if you have more questions. They're there for you. We're going to share with you their contact information. So thank you, Amirrah. Thank you, Clema and Shalim, and all of the staff at the Women's Coalition of St. Croix. I heard you guys back there. So thank you so much. And for all of you guys joining us today, I want to thank you for joining today's session. Please make sure to visit the DVAP website. And also at the end of our session, you will receive a brief survey. Please respond to it. Let us know how we're doing. And I hope for you guys to join us at a future event. Thank you so much, and have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.